Iron Age settlement of Calleva became the Roman town of Calleva Atrebatum, but nowadays more often is known as Silchester, after the small village nearby. It was once considered to be a good example of poor archaeology, and this is because the Victorians, who extensively excavated the site, didn't leave anything for the future generations to dig. They tended to disturb just about every part of the site. Nowadays it's being done by the students of the University of Reading, and although the Victorian technique of letting in a trench until they found something interesting and then sort of working all the way around the outside of the thing that they'd found did quite a lot of damage to the site, it actually only disturbed about 10%. Unfortunately, again, their techniques were quite crude, and they didn't pick up on some of the subtle features, and quite a few features and finds were lost. However, not all was lost.
Located near Reading in Hampshire, the small town of Silchester is not that far from Reading, and from the air you can see that there's very little remaining of the site apart from the walls bounding the town and the amphitheatre, which is shown with the red pushpin. The map, a lot of which was obvious from the crop marks, shows the layout of the approximate position of the main buildings. Note the north-south straight roads, which are characteristic of the Romans. The amphitheatre provided seating for 4,500 to 9,000 people. Now located in open agricultural land, the area was in Iron Age times densely wooded. The approach to the site reveals substantial walls, approximately 4.5 metres high. They were probably around 5.5 to 6 metres high when built, with a ditch below the wall. They extend 2.5 kilometres completely around the town, and they are constructed of flint, with a limestone bonding layer every 4 or 5 courses. It has been estimated that 105,000 wagons of flint and 45,000 wagons of limestone were required to build the wall. English Heritage provides some nice illustrations of the site, one of which shows the crop marks that highlight the town streets. The site has been excavated by the students of the University of Reading for around 17 years, and they've been slowly peeling back and recording the 5th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd century archaeology, revealing the 1st century Roman and now some of the Iron Age archaeology. The students work for around 6 weeks a year on the site and have recorded many interesting finds and features. This photograph, for instance, shows an interesting feature in the Iron Age strata. Highlighted below the red lines, the V-shaped ditch, known as an ankle breaker ditch. Originally it contained a narrow slot cut into the bottom of the V, and if an attacking Iron Age warrior ran headlong into this ditch, the hope was he would trap his foot, break his ankle, and make him an easy target for the villagers. Many pit features have been discovered. Some have been rubbish pits, others latrines, and some wells. There is a reliable source of water around 4.5 metres below the site. The students carefully excavate the features, recording each find for position and location in the context of the stratigraphy. Here you might just be able to make out a yellow patch of ground. Highlighted below my trapezoid red lines, the yellow patch is a 1st century Roman floor for a building that once occupied the site. The floor is made of compacted clay with a gravel surface, and it is aligned north-south. An adjacent feature in the subsequent Iron Age stratigraphic layer is an Iron Age building built on a diagonal alignment matching the previously mentioned defensive trench. Shown in red, the trenches contained the telltale staining of decayed wood. These were oak beams used to support a timber wall, and in the centre of the building several post holes show where timber posts were used to support the roof. The yellow arrows show the location and direction of an Iron Age pathway, or road located outside of the defensive ditch system, which eventually turns and crosses the ditch to enter the site. The gentleman in the red t-shirt is standing on the north-south Roman road that crosses the town between the north and south gates. The road, half of which is protected by topsoil in this photo, is made of compacted gravel, and many layers were added over the years to repair the road and keep it level with the rising level of the town. A mechanical excavator was brought in this year to remove about 3 centuries worth of road layers to allow excavation of a hitherto undisturbed Iron Age surface. You can see lots of interesting stratigraphic layers in that cross-section. Lots of interesting finds, mostly pottery items such as pot shards, roof tiles and floor tesserae have been collected for analysis and archiving. Sometimes whole pots can be rebuilt from the shards, and this is a drinking vessel or beaker. Other times whole pots are found. This one was found at the bottom of a well. Other finds include a number of brooches, as shown in the bottom of this photograph, and along the top a toilet set consisting of tweezers, nail cleaner and ear scoop. To give you some idea and sense of the scale of the site, in the distance you can just make out the north gate, where people are standing adjacent to a gap in the wall wearing white t-shirts. And from the same vantage point, but 180 degrees in the other direction, the south gateway can be seen. So you can see the site is quite big, and the town was estimated to have had a population of around 1200. Also in this photo you can see another excavation site. This site is known as Insula 3, insula being the Roman for the block that each small section of the town was divided up into. The students have around 2 seasons, 3 months, to try and find what the Victorians thought was a bathhouse. The Victorian map shows the bathhouse in the bottom right corner. The students are looking for signs of the Victorian excavations, and the university believe that with several other bathhouses in the town, and the fact that the Victorian archaeologists excavated the area quite early in their period of exploration, that they may have misidentified the building, and it might actually be a high-status building instead. It will be interesting to see what they discover.